welcome everyone to another series of Grow and Get It. I got my guy Paul Olbrantz here,
Awesome.
broker owner of Clear2Close Brokers out of California.
Yep.
I'm Tom Ahles, president of growth here at AIME, and really excited for this one today. I got a chance to, I kind of found Paul sneakily, I would say. His wife posted something, her wife's Danielle, also one of his business partner, posted something in another group that I saw that said, hey, Paul's making 20 calls a day, cold calling real estate agents, and he's going to do it live on Zoom. So I'm like, okay, let's see if this is scripted or what it was going to be. And it wasn't, man. It was raw. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The guy, I watched him get, basically, if you've done cold calling before and you're cold calling agents, you know how it goes. You're going to get some people that, no, I got a guy and it blows them off and didn't care. He got in the right mindset and he really put in action this game plan that I thought was great to share with our broker community for us to be able to go out and grow and get it. So if I'll say one other thing with Paul. Paul lives in a market. If you look up his MMI numbers, Paul, I think over the last 14 months has done close to $200 million in production. The guy's a hitter. He's killing it. But the agents that he's working with, the average agents in that market, only close 3 to 5 deals within a year. So when you look like in my market, I have agents that are closing 100, 120 transactions, and I'm happy. If I get 15 or 20 of those in a year, I'm killing it. For Paul, he has to have a lot more agents and a lot more people. And I think this is common in more areas than not. But his work ethic and also just some basics, what he's going to share with us today, are a way for you guys to make sure that you're going out and growing and get it this week. So Paul, without further ado, man, tell us what you do and how you do it, my friend.
Oh, man. So we like to change the word from cold calling to value calling because we want to take the cold out of it. I mean, the idea behind it is, and I'm so glad you were on that call, is that in order to grow a sustainable business from what at Clear2Close Brokers and from my whole history of being a mortgage broker, is that the day I picked up the phone and I started building these relationships, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're closing a lot of deals. And I want to encourage people. And the whole live thing was really to encourage people to do it. But really, I wanted people to see me. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but to get rejected, because I want you to know you're not the only one. If your first call doesn't go great, that's okay. Because we had to learn how to define a successful value calling session, right? It's not that everybody says yes and they love Paul Olbrantz and they want to send loans. It's the fact that you did it, because we always want to focus on the input of our business, because if you do it enough, you're going to grow, period. That's just what it is.
100%. I mean, the repetition on it, and you're right. I can tell you that I had a couple of the team members with our company that were watching it with me, and I watched them the next day put it in action. So, it wasn't. So a couple of things that I want to cover today. How do you come up with the list of the agents that you're calling?
Sure. So the easiest route, so if you're a new loan officer here, the first thing I would do is get a list of your family and friends that you know, everybody you know. And it's a simple conversation. You reach out to them, you have your normal conversation. You just say, hey, look, I don't know if you know this or not, but I have a great team at wherever you're working at. I'm looking to meet people like you. Who helped you buy your home? Could you introduce them to me? What did you like about them? Find a little bit about them. And then either, have them give you their number, or have them, better yet, do a text introduction that says, hey, Tom, saying you're the realtor. Hey, Paul, he's my friend. He's a great guy. You got to meet him. They're great at loans. And that takes that cold piece into a warm, at least a lukewarm conversation. So that's number one. That's the first thing I would do as a new loan officer. Second is when you really want to start really growing your business, is there's a tool called MMI. This is a great tool. I think it's offered at AIME.
It is. Where, a partnership with them.
Right. Perfect. Where you can go in there, you can see who's doing business, how much they're closing, but really cool who they're working with. So you're going into these calls with a lot of information on how you can add value to them. And so once you have that list made, it's really a consistency game. Right? I mean, you have to call at least 10 weeks in a row. And so we're starting this academy coming up here where we're going to take 100 realtors and we are going to call them each every week for 10 weeks. And you're going to, your people are going to get results on
That's
it.
beautiful. So you're taking 100 realtors, you're breaking it up in a five workday, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
You're calling 20 a day. You're
20
putting
days.
them into, you have an Excel spreadsheet, or how are you doing it? Because when I watched you, you had either a phone system or something to make it where it was fluid, right?
So I personally use Salesforce, where I input everybody in there. And then from Salesforce, I can go right into Phone Burner. Now, Phone Burner, if you're not using it, it takes your calling time and it literally cuts in half. So when you think about 20 realtors, we have to put that into perspective a day. You know, it only takes 30 minutes to an hour to make those calls. And by the way, these are game-changing calls, right? And so if you don't have an hour, if you can't set aside 1 hour to prospect as a loan officer, I would challenge your calendar, right? I would challenge you that where your focus is, because my number one job is to originate new loans.
Yep. Beautiful. I liked it. I mean, even from the beginning, and I'll backtrack a little, even from the beginning, before you started making these calls, it was fun because he goes, all right, I got to get in the right mode. And for those of us that were at UWM Live, I mean, the mindset is like, you're okay with being told no. All you were trying to do is to get that appointment to where, hey, you know, and the more you do something with repetition and having structure to it, you're guaranteed to win. And it's a proven result. So for originators, like he said, you don't need to be a new originator. Maybe you're an originator that the last couple of years, we've had so much business falling in our lap when rates were at 2.25 that I couldn't have a conversation with my mailman without getting a refinance, right? I mean, it was crazy. It's time right now to where leaders are going to rise to the top, and you're going to see it. Paul, I think that's you. You did an amazing job. One of the things as well that I want to touch on is really making sure, you know, simplify it. He may use Salesforce, put together an Excel spreadsheet and put the name, put the number, put the note, and have it up ready to go. You can use MMI, but I think where a lot of people get stuck that you didn't is the paralysis by analysis on it, right? Let's look it up and okay, oh, well, they only did, most of the realtors in your market are closing 4 to 6 transactions a year, right? And when I look on it, having the amount of closings you have, I don't think there was one agent that you closed more than 2 or 3 transactions with, right? But there was a ton of them, right? I mean, it was amazing to see. So really great. You know, one of the things as well that we offer here at AIME is we do have a mentorship program. I talk about this every time on our Grow and Get It. I spoke with Paul and Danielle on it. If you have questions or you want to watch this guy in action, reach out to him or his wife. They're giving people, which is why he's having the success he is. So, you know, Paul, I really appreciate you sharing this. I hope the originators take it to hand like I have personally. You know, if you can't dedicate an hour and call in 20 agents, you know, maybe you can do 10. I guarantee you, if you do it, you're not only going to get better at it, but you're going to close more deals. So anything else you want to add before we cut it off?
There's 2 pieces of success for people that are starting this, right? Everybody has the same strategy. We're calling realtors. We're basically saying the same thing, but it's really the story you're telling yourself in your state, right? And so you have to define what a successful call session is. We talked on that already. You know, but really important, if somebody says no and your mind says, oh, it doesn't work, right? Start looking up lenders that have big numbers, and they're the ones that are making these calls. They're the ones that it does work for. I guarantee you, if you do it for 10 to 12 weeks, 100 realtors, you will get results 100%.
100%. Absolutely. 100%. There's zero question. It's a simple formula that is sitting there waiting for your phone to ring. Isn't going to work in this market.
Not anymore.
And it's, it's amazing. So Paul, really appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of AIME's Grow and Get It. You can watch our previous episodes on AIME's YouTube channel at AIME National, and be on the lookout for another episode. We have some great game changers that are really doing amazing things, just like Paul and his wife. Every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group. And I encourage you guys, go out and grow and get it. So hope everyone has a great week. Thanks again, Paul.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, Tom.